Hello and welcome to Thoughtful Thursday once again. My name is Casey Taylor and thank you for joining. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the connection between breath and mind. If you haven't checked it out already, I do have meditation videos on this channel, and whether that's something you're interested in or you've experienced meditation or it's something that you're just curious about, one of the things that's really worth talking about how and why we focus on the breath in meditative or mindfulness practices can really give us an opportunity to gain some more insight. And the element that I think is really profound that these ancient, wise individuals who started mindfulness practices millennia ago, thousands and thousands of years, is the direct connection between breath and mind. What I mean by this is there are some things that are so similar. Both our mind and our breath can rule our lives if we do not take conscious effort to work with them. And here's what I mean by that. If the unexamined and untrained mind, left to its own devices, can lead someone to a very challenging life. If we are just tied to the whimsy of every single thought that comes up and get bounced around all over the place, we may be achieving goals that aren't ours. We'll most likely be highly anxious, unfulfilled, having an extreme lack of attention. The capability of even kind of navigating through life in the most healthy way is ripped from us if we don't start to learn some qualities of containing the mind. In Buddhist practices, it's often referred to as the monkey mind. So there's a little bit of this kind of squirrely character of the mind itself. And on its own, left to its own devices, we could end up with a pretty tragic life. The same is true with the breath. If we don't start coming to some awareness about how to gain control of our breath and to allow the breath to breathe us or live our lives for us, we could get stuck in a breath pattern that's very shallow. And when that's happening and we're just breathing into the top of the lungs and we're breathing in and out a little bit, we're actually cueing the nervous system, a sympathetic nervous system, to be in fight or flight mode. So we might end up being extremely anxious and not really know why. We could be not getting enough oxygen into the bloodstream without a full, complete breath. We could live a life where we're kind of always on edge because this breath is breathing us, and we might be in this anxious state simply because the faculty of breath has not been deepened with conscious awareness. So you can see that these things have a parallel. If we don't take some time to work with them consciously and with our mind and awareness, they can lead us to places we don't necessarily want to be in our lives. So that direct parallel of bringing the awareness to the breath in mindfulness practices is a beautiful juxtaposition of these two elements, and they are intrinsically linked. Obviously, by breath we stay alive, and without being alive, the mind may not have all its machinations. But the calming of the mind that can occur by deep conscious breathing, or the bringing of awareness to the one-pointed experience of the breath, can really allow us to bring the awareness elsewhere in our mind. So if we're capable of kind of being in the gym or doing the practice of being mindful of our breath, we're kind of doing bicep curls so that we're aware when our mind is acting in ways that maybe aren't the most ideal for the way we want to live our lives. If we're consciously aware of the breath and following it completely, then when we're in a situation in life where maybe we explode in anger and we didn't think that we wanted that to be what we wanted to have happen, then the next time that comes around, we can take that awareness from consciously following the breath and consciously be aware of the anger. And slowly and surely we can bring the mind under a more malleable control by this higher part of ourselves, so that we can show up in a way that is more fulfilling, more productive, more in resonance with the desired way we want to be in the world. And that doesn't mean that we shut down or close down emotions. Actually, quite the opposite. We actually are observant of the emotions as they arise. We just don't let the running of the mind with those emotions that happens due to the biochemical experience that occurs within the body, then take us into a place where we have behavior patterns or say things that don't really align with who we are and who we want to be. So we even bring that awareness as the emotions arise. So if anger arises, awareness, awareness. And we may even get caught and have a experience where we don't show up as our best selves. But we can be aware of that and then consciously work to change it. So really this beautiful practice, this mindfulness practice of being conscious and sitting and following the breath can have profound effects everywhere else in the life. And even if it's something that's done for 5 minutes a day, quietly, just bringing the awareness to the breath constantly over and over again, you'll notice that you can affect the habit patterns in your life that are ruling you in a much more conscientious and powerful way. I hope this has been insightful or helpful. If you have feedback or questions or other insights on this, please reach out via social media or in the comment section below. And thank you for joining me today on Thoughtful Thursday.